Aaliyah Boston didn't just win Game 4, she owned it. Afterward, she laughed off the chatter by saying, "I have a special whistle," because she got to the free throw line 13 times. That little comment sent Las Vegas fans and even Aaliyah Wilson into a frenzy, with Wilson hinting that Boston was getting some kind of unfair treatment. But let's be honest, what Boston had wasn't a gift from referees. It was pure dominance. The Fever beat the Aces on the boards, punished them in the paint, and flipped the whistle narrative on its head. For 3 games, the Aces had been handed every soft call imaginable. Anytime Boston tried to seal inside, the whistle went against her. Anytime Kelsey Mitchell slid her feet on defense, she got tagged for a foul. Vegas built rhythm from those calls, padded Wilson's trips to the line, and leaned on officiating to maintain control. But when Game 4 rolled around and Indiana finally forced the issue by living in the paint, suddenly the Aces cried foul. Wilson finished with 31 points, but she had to grind for every single one because Boston pressed her every possession. By the end of the night, Boston had 24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and the kind of impact that doesn't just show up on paper. It changes the entire rhythm of a game. The Fever as a team attempted 34 free throws compared to Vegas's 11. Becky Hammon's frustration boiled over when she sat down at the post-game podium. Cutting off questions with a sharp, "They shot 34 free throws, and we shot 11. Next question. That wasn't strategy. It was desperation. Here's what really happened. Indiana attacked relentlessly. Mitchell slashed at the rim, Boston sealed deep, and Odyssey Sims forced contact with every drive. When you spend 40 minutes in the paint, you're going to draw fouls. Vegas, on the other hand, settled for jumpers. Outside of Wilson, nobody consistently pressured the rim. That's not officiating bias, that's game plan execution. Wilson's sarcastic special whistle jab rings hollow when you watch the tape. There were moments when Wilson herself got away with blatant shoves. Lexi Hull, who played nearly 40 minutes while battling a back injury, was chucked to the ground on one play with a ref staring straight at it. No whistle. Over the series, fouls have been almost perfectly even between both teams. Game 4 wasn't rigged. It was balance correcting itself after Vegas lived off whistles earlier. The Aces didn't lose because of referees. They lost because Indiana hammered them inside, dominated the glass 34-22, and made their defense work every possession. 3 Aces starters finished with 5 fouls, not because the refs hunted them, but because Indiana attacked mismatches and forced them to defend. That's basketball. Becky Hammon's own mistake of calling a timeout she didn't have, handing Indiana a technical free throw in crunch time, sealed the comedy. Vegas beat itself as much as Indiana beat them. The centerpiece of all this was Boston. From the opening tip, she planted herself in the paint and refused to budge. Analysts billed Wilson versus Boston as the series-defining matchup. Game 4 flipped the script. Wilson scored, but Boston made her work so hard that the rest of Vegas's offense fell out of rhythm. On offense, Boston established deep seals, caught the ball in prime spots, and forced defenders to foul. 10 makes at the line proved it wasn't favoritism, it was the consequence of overpowering positioning. She adjusted from earlier games where Vegas swarmed her into mistakes. This time she showed patience, reposting, kicking out to shooters, and finishing efficiently. And it wasn't just Boston. Mitchell poured in 25 points, earning MVP chants from the Fever faithful. For a player who has carried Indiana through losing seasons, this was her moment of vindication. Even Caitlin Clark, sidelined with injury, leaned over and told her, "Kelsey, unreal." Sims bounced back from a nightmare Game 3 with 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting, proving her veteran poise when it mattered most. Hull's defense on Jackie Young changed the flow of the game. Shea Petty provided steady minutes, hitting shots and calming possessions when things threatened to unravel. All of it combined to dismantle Vegas's excuses. The foul count wasn't a conspiracy. It was a reflection of Indiana's will. The Aces weren't sabotaged, they were shoved around. They weren't cheated, they were outworked. The special whistle was just special basketball, and Boston was at the heart of it. Now it comes down to Game 5 in Las Vegas. Michelob Ultra Arena will be loud, hostile, and desperate. Vegas will throw everything at Indiana, but the Fever already have the blueprint. Feed Boston early, keep Mitchell aggressive, let Hull set the defensive tone, and crash the boards with the same hunger. If they can repeat that formula, the Aces' dynasty dreams could crumble on their own home floor. This series has been framed by controversy and excuses, but the truth is simple. Indiana didn't get bailed out, they imposed their will. Wilson's special whistle complaint was nothing more than frustration at being outplayed. The Fever are one win from the WNBA Finals, and it wasn't the refs who put them there. It was Boston's dominance, Mitchell's clutch shooting, Sims's resurgence, Hull's grit, and a team that refused to quit. What do you think? Was there really a special whistle? Or was this just Indiana proving toughness beats reputation? Let me know down below.